Hello everybody, today we're gonna talk about the Formula Oof. I'm so sorry. Today joining me are Ninja Serpents, the driver for Toyota Sparks Racing. Of course, last year was for Scuderia Ferrari. We have Otmano 63, a rookie this season, but he has showed promising pace in pre-season testing. And another rookie, Emmanuel. He is driving for TOM, so yeah, we're excited for that. So guys, let's dive into it. Where should we start?
Okay,
Hi
so
guys.
yeah, hello. I've been since I'm a new rookie, so we prefer to start with a pre-presentation for the league and the history and stuff like that. So we're gonna keep the speak for Ninja Serpents and you, Mr. Shuffle, as more experienced people. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, shall we start with the history of the league? Yeah.
Honestly, not really aware of. It seems like the league has definitely improved a lot, but throughout the time, I really want to see where this league would be getting to advance into, because there's definitely a lot of promises for this league. Maybe gain a lot of new members. About the history, you might want to ask Ninja for that,
Yeah.
since he's a
Well.
very experienced.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Ninja was sadly after season 0.5. Just gonna explain season 0.5 for you guys. Season 0.5, we basically started the league. We were young and young sounds stupid, but I just started developing, so I just took some free models, put it in a game, and called it a game. People started to join. We got a bit popular. We got 10k visits. We started a league, but eventually we got copyrighted. So yeah, that was officially season 1. But since we got copyrighted, the season got cancelled, and since then it's been called season 0.5. Yeah, well, season 0.5 was an interesting season. We only had 3 races with 3 different winners, although 2 different pole sitters. We had a Super Robert Pro, of course, taking pole, just like last season, dominating everything. He didn't win any races then. He became P2 in his first race, but then became inactive. Branson won the first race. Then we went to Indianapolis, and we had Mrs. Ture having his debut there. Because, yeah, he was. C0.5 was the era where some drivers weren't active, so the reserve driver got more points than the actual drivers. It was a weird thing that happened, but in Indianapolis we got a completely new podium sitters. Ash won the race. Aqua became second, and then Mystere became P3 after the official finish of P3. Red Bull Kip 33 had a 5-second penalty of 15 seconds, I can't remember. And then we went to Monza, and that was a weird race as well. Some guy was abusing admin, was weird shit, and then Zach came out as the winner. So that's basically season 0.5 for you guys. Yeah.
So should we talk about the when was the best part? No, sorry. When was the day that a lot of people joined? People were starting to be more interested, and you saw that many people were interested and decided to make it a bigger league. Decided to continue.
Well, we had a small community. Well, of course, we started like with the okay. So before season 0.5 started, we had like 8 people who were officially in the league. Then when FP2 started, it was madness. People who joined their friends and were like, "Oh, funny, there's a league." After FP2, we had more driver signups than actual spots for drivers. It was insane. And yeah, there we grew a small community. Of course, a lot of people just left, but we kept a few, like Aquacar. He joined in FP2 as well, and became the inaugural Formula O champion that season, without winning any races as well. And yeah, then season 1 started. And the weird thing is, people didn't really join our game because of the game, because it was just free models. But I don't know. A lot of people say we're great. We are a great community. So, yeah, that is a great.
Give you one race that was very active.
Huh?
Singapore last year.
Yeah, Singapore. That was that's last season. Last season was a good season as well. You guys weren't there, except Ninja. Ninja was there as well. It was 21 people started it. 14 finished it. And yeah, Super won it, of course. But the Dutchman was close. Super had a 5-second penalty. And the Dutchman finished 5.2 seconds behind him. He was a bit mad, of course, because you just lost out on your first win. But yeah, he won in Barcelona last season. Yeah. You guys want to say anything or?
Yeah. So now we can we're interesting. We're talking about the drivers market, the new owners and the new teams for an interesting season. It's the second season now. So what do you think? Shuffle. Who deserve to be where, and what teams deserve to be at the top?
Well, the fun thing is we have a mixed up grid. We have only 7 or 8 drivers from last season are back this season, Ninja being one of them. Most of them are rookies. So I have no idea where most people gonna be. Of course, we had preseason testing recently. Altman, you were there as well, and you are considered one of the champions, the championship contenders. You don't want to hear it, but honestly, you're fast.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to hear something like that. As a rookie, I can't expect something for the future, but as a maybe experienced driver in other leagues, I can tell you that I can expect some big fights with other experienced drivers like Aqua. Maybe Josh and Emmanuel looks very strong too, which is so good to hear that we have a lot of rookies that are interesting, who have an interesting pace, that will have a lot to show. So, in your opinion, who do you think will be rookie of the year?
Well, it's gonna be
a very strong contender.
yeah.
You got very strong.
Altman, you're a very strong contender. Emmanuel, I haven't really seen your drive yet, so I'm not gonna say anything about you.
I'd be glad to show it now if you want. I'd be glad to just, in whatever track it is, I'll just give me like 2 laps to analyze the track.
Yeah, but
in my opinion, Emmanuel looked an interesting option.
Yeah, but for example, Dilo does a lot of team testing. He's really building his team to perfection, especially with Dilis Racing. We'll get in the new teams later, so Dilis Racing might be familiar for the people who are watching. But you can really analyze some people. For example, Josh is really good at 1 lap. He's a good qualifier. But his race pace needs to improve a bit more. Like, for example, Sassy. He can do lap after lap after lap with only a 2/10 margin between them. It's just so consistent, and you need that for the race. So, who's going to become the Rookie of the Year? Well, I don't know yet, because we have so many options. We have Altman, you have, for example. We have Emmanuel, you of course. But we also have your boy Nick, for example. We
just got loads of people.
Yeah, we got Michael, a new guy. We got so many rookies. Josh, Charles, Sassy. Sassy is a half rookie. He had 1 practice session last season, so technically he's a rookie. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Basically, we got somebody else that has joined. It's Aqua.
Yeah, but Aqua
So
can't
the main
talk.
thing I want to say, I'm very, very excited to at least try and contend into this championship, because I see that there's so many talented drivers on board. And just imagine how entertaining the league will be if we actually had some spectators and competitive drivers racing each other into every single lap. So nobody would get bored. It would just be constant laps of perfection and entertainment.
Yeah, but the annoying thing is, Super. The only time Super is beatable is when he doesn't know the track. If he knows the track, then he's scary. He just, for example, in Singapore, he practiced the track, and yeah, sometimes Formula One drivers have that moment of being on their league of their own. That was at Super in Singapore last season. He was like close with the Dutchman. The Dutchman was gaining time on him, and the Dutchman was already 1/10, just 1/10 of Super. Super decided that he needed to put in a better lap time. So what happened? Super outqualified the Dutchman by 1.2 seconds in the same car, and that's scary.
I'm not the best driver on the grid by a mile, but I am active, and so I do rack up
So,
a small point.
like we have a great base community currently. So, as we've seen, we have a lot of, as we've said, we have a lot of rookies and drivers there have an interesting pace. It's gonna be so entertaining, funny, as Emmanuel said. So the base community will be more introduced by the new content we're gonna show, the new content we're gonna show to the fans, as there's a lot of drivers that gonna get battle between us. Gonna try to get in the top. It's gonna give a big entertainment. So, as you know, for the main league futures. So I wanna hear by Emmanuel and Regis Serpens what they think should be added to the league as futures and abilities in deving.
That's a funny question. Well, yeah, you ask it to someone else, but I'm gonna answer it anyway. But yeah, well, what's coming? The Dutchman is putting some insane work, as you have seen. He has put in working pit walls with system that show telemetry. That is not something every game has. Even I don't know. According to me, Ion doesn't even have telemetry. So yeah, it's bizarre what he has done. Like we have DRS now, we have ERS, we have tire damage, which doesn't bug out when you crash a wall. We have
I don't like tire damage.
yeah.
I honestly don't. You saw me
Yeah.
in Singapore last year.
Well, we fixed the damage system. The one that was in Baku in last season, which was a weird race. We tested damage as well, but the system was so broke that if you just hit a wall the slightest, your tire would just explode and the car would break down. So it was chaos. But yeah, we have a working damage system now, and fuel as well. So it's gonna be absolutely insane for this season. And
Also
You're gonna
saw-
run through the teams. You're gonna
Can't
run through
wait.
the
It's
teams.
going to be so magical.
Yeah, we've also seen a new features like a new track recovery vehicles, like the truck that can get the
yeah, and the
broken
Dutchman
car.
has made of course the Dutchman has made a truck
Well,
like a tractor
yeah.
that almost killed Gasly,
Yeah.
sort of thing. But yeah, and of
Yeah.
course what we have and most league don't. Most leagues just do 10 races a season. We do full.
Doing
Yeah, we have
doing 18.
we doing 18 because if you do
Yeah.
more races in one season, it takes longer. But if it takes longer, it means more to
So
win the
the-
title because you worked harder
Yeah.
for it. What the problem
Yeah,
was
also
with
it's
Ria,
more
what you could see
efficient
with
to
Ria, they had like 20 seasons in less than 2 years. If you then say
No,
I'm a Ria champion, that didn't
It's
mean
like, oh well, I've won 5 races.
yeah, like if you win 5 races, okay, but if there are more races, then missing one race has more consequences than missing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and next
It's-
year, this
that's
season
what
we
I
have 18, but I can confirm that in season 3 we will have 21.
Yeah, that's what I make it interesting
Very nice.
for all drivers to get opportunity
I
to
guess-
compete for the
Do
championship.
you guys want to
Well,
know?
can say that, I guess.
Do you guys want
I
to know which 3 tracks will come in season 3? By the way.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
interested in
yeah,
that.
I mean,
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
love all of
we
it.
have one custom track. We will make it. Oh, I dropped something. We will make one custom Portugal track. We'll add Suzuka, and I forgot the other ones. Oh yeah, and we have
Oh, perfect.
Boot International Circuit in India.
very nice.
Oh my word. Sebastian
Triple-
somebody's going to be
triple
like a Sebastian Vettel 2.0.
Yeah,
Well, I think we
not
should run
and
through
not
the list of the
mentioning
teams.
And
Yeah.
not mentioning Monaco, please. We don't want to
Yeah,
see any. Yeah.
Monaco is in this year's calendar and probably in next year's calendar as well, which is
Yeah.
nice for the most drivers, especially the rookies, because there's damage. So
I don't like
I'm
that.
So it's
interested
gonna
to
be
see how that's
interesting.
gonna work out because
Yeah, it's gonna
We'll
show
see.
the
We'll
real
see.
ability
It's
of
going to be a very entertaining race, in
driver.
my opinion.
First of all, I think you should run through the list of the teams for season 2.
yeah, that's a good
Well,
point. So I'm gonna take the. Let me open something real quick. I have made a list once, and there shows all the teams. There are pretty interesting stories behind some teams. GMG Racing became GMG Motorsport. That's not very interesting, but still.
Yeah.
For example, Roadroll has become DS Racing. I think DS Racing.
Is there any changes inside the team, the mechanics and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're now mechanics.
Now, let me open my team list real quick because I've made.
Toyota have a mechanic.
also, speaking of the new cars and new vehicles we're gonna have this year, we wanna notice that the drivers will get a harder job in understanding the cars and getting the correct setup for each track. It's gonna be harder this year as every team gonna get a different car than the other. So some
So well,
drivers
this is
will
what I
get
feel.
used
Yeah,
to
well,
cars,
This
Oh,
league's very
other
good.
will
yeah,
not.
but of course there's R and D and
so
okay. So let me.
Also,
there's different performance this year. I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, no,
Oh, really?
your every team. For your information, if you didn't know, we have R and D. So every team has to develop their car. For example,
Also, I'd like
GMG
to reveal
is
something as
very good in downforce. Dealis Racing is very good in balanced stuff, and then you have Lambo Racing with the best top speed there is.
I'd like to also reveal something that me and Jovel have been talking about something, and I can reveal that I'm in process of buying a team right now,
Yeah.
and I can reveal what the name of that team will be.
Yeah, also with the new R&D system and the different performance thing, it's gonna going to get the way very harder to the drivers to decide where they are going to race with in the next
Okay,
seasons. So
so
each driver had to take the great choices
we're
for
gonna
the team.
start from the top to the bottom. So we have Rebel Racing. Yeah, but this is a weird story. Okay, so this is an interesting story. We last year had Scuderia Ferrari, of course. They ended that last, but they have been bought over by some other dude who has changed the name to 6000 Motorsports. Rebel Racing has been bought by Dilo, but Dilo is a diehard Ferrari fan, and he thought it was sad that Ferrari had to leave the grid, so he has bought Rebel and renamed it to Scuderia Ferrari. So Ferrari
Yeah,
left the grid,
thankfully.
but joined the grid. So that's a weird story. Then we have GMG Motorsports, not very interesting. Then we have
I just feel a little up for a while.
then we have Blur Racing. They have become WOC Racing. TOM Motorsports.
Which is the one that I was going to buy.
Yeah, you wanted to buy Rise GP, but
Yeah.
we'll get to later. We had TOM Racing still is TOM Racing. McRoller changed to Toyota Sparks Racing. That happened recently. Then we have Roadroll. They have become Dealis Racing. Noob Empire Racing still the same. Dutchman Racing still the same. Then we had Dutchman Junior Racing. And they have become Rise GP. Audi X Petronas has been bought over by someone and is now Lineva Motorsports. Mercedes, that was a weird story, has been bought over multiple times and then got back to the original owner and is Mercedes again. Although their official name is Bonkers Energy Mercedes Racing or something. It's a weird name, but just call them Mercedes. Lambo Racing still the same. Sugo Racing has been sold to someone, is now BR Racing. LGP Racing is still the same, and yeah, I just taught you about Scuderia Ferrari and 6000 Motorsports, so yeah, that's the grid.
Yeah. And
Right,
if
so that was
you want to know, guys, I am currently in the process of going to buy Rise GP. and I can reveal that if I buy it, I will be calling it NS Motorsports.
Yeah, and he probably yeah. I have multiple teams under my name. I let other people manage it because otherwise it will be a bit too much. But yeah, um, right now it's Rise GP and it will be Rise GP for season 2 and probably will become Ninjas for season 3.
Yeah. Unless I buy it within like the next 2 weeks, it'll be
Yeah,
Rise
so
GP.
as now there are only less than 3 weeks to the first round in Emilia-Romagna. What do you think, Shuffle? How do you think the season would start, and what plans are you taking off to start the season with?
So for every weekend we are already deciding what's the weather gonna be because otherwise doing last minute it's gonna be tough. We have different ways of generating weather. We're not gonna dive into that. It's a complicated story. We are not just gonna decide it's gonna rain. We make weather forecasts, and I can already tell you, it's gonna be a dry qualifying, but the race is gonna start wet. It's gonna be dry in the end, but it's gonna start wet in Imola.
Alright, fantastic.
Oh, okay.
So it's great for the rookies because the first ever race they're gonna do is wet. So you're new to Formula Oof, and the first thing you get is just wet.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. I like how there's actually a weather forecast.
Also, yeah, I've tried the new weather rain system and the testing track at Indianapolis, and like it's really for those in who didn't experience that. When you drive on the track and there is fog and rain, you absolutely can't see anything just in real life. A lot of spray coming from the car in front of you, so you have to get used to look at your sides, look at the white lines, the track line, and the curves to know where to brake and go and exit in the corners. So, which gonna be so interesting for the rookies to help them
And not only
get used to tracks at hard situations.
that, the Dutchman is still working on that. The Dutchman, of course, being our scripter, is still perfecting the grip on the tires when it's raining because right now you lose grip, but you still have to match grip. Well, because you just could drive with dry tires in heavy rain, that's not possible. Of course, you lose grip. Of course, I've crashed multiple times in the wall trying to test, but it is much too doable.
Just amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
group.
but of course, we're not talking about Formula O for our own league because we also have other leagues. Formula O is our for you guys. Formula O is our Formula One part, and basically the rest is it's all part of OOF Motorsports because why not? So we're gonna talk about leagues that are coming up in the far future and other leagues we're gonna have. Of course, Formula 2 and Formula 3 are being worked on, and they might start this year already. Of course, I will be driving in Formula 3. And karts
I
is...
own teams in Formula 2 and 3.
Yeah, you have teams in Formula 2 and 3, that's correct. And yeah, I have a Formula 2 team as well. Don't do Formula 3 team because, I don't know, a bit too much teams. Of course, Formula E is coming as well. And then we have karts.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
But we have already different servers which are like in the far future. We're not focusing on them, but they will come eventually. We have we'll have GT racing, so Ferrari Challenge and Porsche Supercup. Endurance, so yeah, you know what it is, like Le Mans, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Karts, and of course we have also.
Like a whole career.
Huh?
It's like a whole career.
Yeah, exactly, and we're gonna imply in a license system as well. But for example, you need yeah, for the old drivers, it's not gonna they're not gonna be affected. But for new drivers, if everything is ready, they have to apply via licensing system. They have to put in a certain lap time, so we have drivers who are competent enough who can actually give good competition.
Yeah, also speaking with the new driver super license, We want to hear and know an introduction to the new driver license and how you have to get points enough to join the league for the new drivers who still didn't join in the future.
Well, I was thinking for driving license, you have to put in a certain lap time to get a racing license, and with a racing license you can do certain class. Like for example, I have sent it somewhere. Did I send you, old man? I think I have sent it you. I have to scroll back a little.
Right then. So, is there anything else that we
Yeah, well,
should
I
cover?
let me search the licensing system real quick. I have made a system and I've sent someone, but I lost it, so I have to search right now.
Uh,
Oh yeah, of course. I forgot to mention that for the people who aren't in the Discord, of course. This season we are doing our own sort of Drive to Survive. It's called Full Throttle, and of course, it's basically what you could expect.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting series for the new community-based fans of or FO League. It's gonna be just the same idea as the similar series that you know in Netflix.
Yeah,
so I'm looking
So
forward to this.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be an introduction to the league, the drivers, their life, their career, how they share their emotions during the races and all the stuff like that. It's gonna be an interesting series and the first time exclusively for FO.
yeah,
Also, forget there will be a lab guide at Indianapolis with me personally. It's gonna be an analysis for a great lab for you exclusive for us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I found the licensing system. For example, with a race license, you can sign up for Porsche Super Cup, Ferrari Challenge cards, and some class. I'm not sure that will be there. And if you do enough races or win enough races, we're figuring out how to get a decent point system. You can get a race license B. With a race license B, you can do Formula 3, NASCAR, Endurance, a GT class car, and Rally. Then you can, like the mini championships, you have two types of rally. We are gonna have a rally that you drive on tracks, just follow tracks that drive in circles, and you have the WRC World Rally Cup system that is for race license A. But with race license A, you also are eligible for Formula 2, Formula E Rally, endurance racing in the LMP cars, and IndyCar. And then, of course, you get the super license as last, and that's for Formula OOF, so the Formula 1 part. So yeah, it's a racing licensing system.
Perfect. Then.
uh, Interesting questions, personal questions to drivers. So, Emmanuel, how did you get signed to your new team, TLM Motorsport?
Again?
And do you think, what do you think about your future with them? And are you continuing with them in the next season?
Sorry, what was the last thing you said? Last thing. Okay, so let me just start with the question. Really, I was playing with my friend and he really suggested me to this league. Uh, and I became attracted to this league because I had nothing else to do because racing has been a little bit taken away from me. And it had been a while that I had done any road racing or stuff. So I took my chance and I just drove in a test circuit, and I think I was with somebody, not shuffle, but it was a team boss. We just wanted to see how good we were at driving. And basically over there, I started to show my skills of basically 4 to 3 years of raw racing, and I ended up doing a fantastic impression. So I was into the level of Formula One, but I felt bad for my friend, which was all the way down in Formula 3 level. And I decided to stay with him at Formula 3. But then I had my computer taken away, so I could concentrate more on my studies. And afterwards, when I got my computer back, I said, screw it, I cannot really stay in Formula 3 because my friend has lost interest in the league as well. He's not playing much, so I took my chance. I drove again, I impressed, and I went to TLM into Formula 1.
Nice.
And to my future, this team, I'm looking forward for it. Uh, I really don't have much to say, just because I really don't know the team very well. I hope that we can work together, be advanced into the R&D sessions, nail those practice sessions, see what's different in the car, find the balance. I really want to keep up to date with whatever's going on with the car, so I don't fall too behind when I'm driving the car, so it doesn't seem weird to me that I'm driving 10 times better car than last race weekend. So I gotta constantly practice. And so that was it basically. Thank you for your question, Alphonse.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
you're
have a
welcome.
small. I have a few small discussion subject for us. Uh, who do you, first of all, who do you think are contenders for the drivers constructors? Like not driver constructors, like the drivers championships. Wow, that's
GMG.
Yeah.
I meant
Yeah.
drivers. I said driver constructors. It sounded stupid.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
drivers championship.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Well,
an
not me.
interesting question. Like, there's a lot of talented new
Yeah, but
drivers, but as you see, the
before the season officially announced we're gonna start again, it was after preseason testing it was a 3-way battle, but then something happened
yeah,
which made it a 4-way battle. Cube, he finished P3 in Barcelona last year, out-qualified Super. He has announced that he might be racing again this season, so yeah, it's gonna be a 4-way battle between the Dutchman, Super, Oddman, and Cube.
yeah. Speaking of that, we have the two dominating drivers from previous season, the Dutchman and
Yeah,
Super. They are so experienced drivers, so fast drivers. You can't really think to battle them. But with their current problems, like we have a lot of inactivity problem with Super. He maybe can't attend some races,
yeah, he's
which
focusing on the
gonna make a
basketball
lot of
career, so
opportunity, uh, which gonna make a lot of opportunity for other drivers to compete with, because you said we have Cube, Josh, and Aqua, the previous champion can also get an opportunity on that. So, and also from preseason testing, we've seen the performance, the pace from the drivers, the Dutchman and me. We have a pretty good battle to get the fastest laps, and also our biggest gap between us was not more than 7 tenths, which gonna make the things more interesting. Also, Emmanuel showing a very interesting pace at FIGO, the 117, which is so rare. And also for the constructor championship, that depends on the two drivers. Like we have Scuderia Ferrari, we have me and Steele, who still didn't show his pace so a lot. So we're not sure about his pace
yeah.
currently. But as he got signed to the team, we know that he can do something
And
at least. But we're gonna
talking
say,
about doing stuff for the team, what are the teams that you think will fight for the constructors championship? In my opinion, it's of course GMG. I think Dealers Racing might be contender as well. They don't have the fastest drivers, but the thing is, GMG, Dutchman Racing, and Scuderia Ferrari all have the same issue. It's not an issue, but it's just a thing that's present. They have a fast first driver, but their second driver isn't that fast. Well, Daily Studios has just two decent drivers, so they might snatch a few points here and there as well.
yeah, so the constructors championship will be so interesting too. While we have a lot of teams with the fast drivers that can get the job done, and it will be so interesting. So, concerning the drivers championship or the constructors championship, it's going to be a great battle for it. So this season could be the most interesting season for all the fans around
Yeah.
there. So be tuned to an interesting season. There'll be a lot of action there, a lot of drama and a lot of
Now,
controversy.
I hope the controversial part doesn't have to be there because I just like plain old
Yeah.
racing, no weird thing, no cheating, no Francesco stuff doing 84 corner cuts. It was 86 even. Yeah, Ninja's old teammate last season. He was an interesting guy. He did 86 corner crits, 50 gets you disqualified, and then he became mad that he got disqualified because he only did 84. My man, what do you mean by I only did? Like, only?
Well, I mean, I, I got quite a few corner cuts, but I never got
No.
50,
I
let alone
mean,
84.
Yeah, being a clean driver is a hard.
one guy, like your previous team boss from Emmanuel, like the guy who owned and founded TOM, had 49 once, and he was very close, but he didn't get it. But yeah, there. Yeah. Anyway, what's your surprise winner for this season? Who do you think who will win a race? Who you think? Well, okay.
Maybe an hard option and hard. It's gonna be a hard choice to maybe expect me as a winner. So I don't know. The winning thing in my in my in my I don't know how to say it exactly. So like if I expect me winning a race, it's gonna be a bit tough to think about. Like I'm gonna need a lot of luck to win a race at least this season. But I'm gonna try my best
Yeah.
to do it. Emmanuel maybe can do it. Also, Aqua, the previous champion, has a big opportunity to get a win this season if the Dutchman is super going to
Yeah.
handle it one
My
day.
guess. My
So a
guess.
lot
Aqua's gonna win at Monaco. He isn't the Aqua isn't the fastest driver, but he's one of the cleanest driver you can imagine. The amount of corner cuts he has done max in a race is about 3. Super and the Dutchman last year in
yeah.
Monaco they were constantly hitting the walls. Of course there wasn't damage soon, so there were no consequences. But Aqua can manage keeping on the track very well. So I think he has a big chance in Monaco, and if he has to do it somewhere, it's gonna be Monaco because a lot of rookies might misjudge the cars and even hit the wall. So yes, I think Monaco could be a good one for Aqua.
And let's not
Yeah.
forget Josh too. Josh, I know his pace
Guys,
in
guys!
pre-season
I forgot to
testing.
mention
He's
something.
shown
We
that.
totally forgot to talk about this season's calendar. Of course, we talked about an 18 race calendar, but we haven't discussed what tracks they are on. Of course, we said race 1 is Imola. That's correct. We're gonna go to Imola. But we have 2 custom tracks this season.
Morocco, my home
Yeah, your home
race.
race, and that's
Also,
the second race of the season. How are you looking forward to that?
yeah, honestly, hearing that I have a home race for the first time in my career, like in all the leagues I competed in, I've never had a Moroccan Grand Prix. So it's gonna give me a very lot of hype to do a big results in my home race. I mean, there's a lot of Moroccans, there are a lot of Arabs in this league. They're gonna be so supporting the Arab drivers to get something in an Arabic track. So like the hype is there, and also pace will be there maybe. Also, we have a lot of interesting tracks that are known with the very good action there. Have Great Britain, Singapore, Monaco will be an interesting
Yeah.
one, a chaotic one for
Shall I
sure.
just? I'm just
Also, Spain.
gonna from top to bottom. I'm just gonna say all the races. We start in Imola, then we have Morocco, custom of course, Canada, Hockenheim, Vigo, also custom race in South Africa because we're a world championship. We go everywhere on the continent, on the world. I mean. Then we have Essen. That's a real life track in the Netherlands. It's not Zandvoort. We have actually 2 tracks. It's easier to make, so that's why Assen. And then we have Monza, Monaco, Indianapolis, because we like it better, Turkey, Singapore, Great Britain, Austria, Australia, Mexico, Spain, Malaysia, because we like Malaysia, and Brazil, because that's where the final race should be.
Yeah, so for Brazil being the last race of the calendar, it's gonna be a bit. It's gonna be a bit dramatic for some drivers. We have a lot of memories of that back to 2008 Hamilton and
Yeah.
Felipe Massa. We can see something that's similar. We don't know. We never know. We're gonna see. Also, we have seen a bit of lack of American tracks. There's not a lot compared to the real life calendar. We have Indianapolis. I think, yeah, I think that's
Now
it,
for the
right? Do you expect any? Do you expect any USA more tracks in the
It might
future?
be, might be. I'm just, uh, yeah. I don't want to get the calendar too big. For me, is the rule 25 max. Not gonna go over 25 because otherwise we're gonna get seasons that are so long that we can't even fit them in 1 year. Uh, so we might, but I'm not sure. Also,
Yeah. Also, yeah.
um,
With yeah, I've noticed too that there's not a lot of Arabic trucks. Maybe we have just one. We have the Moroccan truck, so maybe we can see lots of Arabic
yeah,
trucks more. Like Abu Dhabi, it can maybe be a championship decider or a final
yeah, but
race at some point.
Morocco is like located in Africa. You know that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we do we have any UAE tracks like United? No, we don't actually.
You have very interesting tracks like the Yes
Yeah,
Marina circuits. Is a good one. I
but
love
if
that
you're gonna
track
think
to be
about it,
honest.
there are only three tracks. Two. My excuse. There are only two tracks that has that have been and are going to be because this season as well in every calendar. Of course, we have a lot of tracks are new. Then we have tracks we had last season. But only Barcelona and Monza were in all the seasons we have had so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so at the end we can get a conclusion that the calendar in the season is so interesting. We have pretty every and we have a lot of races from every single country and not country and continent we can say. So we have lots of traditions and lots of nationalities, lots of home races for the
Yeah.
drivers. So it's gonna be a lot hypey.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
I
lot
hope
of
and
hype.
so.
talking about
Also
drivers, we're
helps
gonna
make
just
the
take
league
a
interesting.
look at the driver market for season 3 because a lot like some teams have free positions, some don't. Like
With
GMG, Aqua might
retirements,
retire
of
it for
course.
season 3, so GMG might have a free spot. And of course, Dealey's Racing has both their drivers for 3 seasons. I think Dutchman Racing have the teams pretty full as well. What do you think might be an interesting driver transfer that might happen in your mind? What is also possible to happen?
Okay, in my opinion, if we take all those seats available, the best teams will take the best drivers. That's all we know. Also, the big one is gonna be for the rookie of the year. The man who get this title, who get the vote of this, is gonna get it all. So the man who get the driver, the rookie of the year, is the one who deserves to have a lot of
Yeah,
chances.
I
You
can
know what I
confirm
mean?
one thing
Yeah.
because GMG. Oh, hi. We just have a team boss that joined who also has driven in season 0.5. He was known as one of the fastest in season 0.5, having the fastest lap in Barcelona overall, doing a 1.3. But anyway, I can confirm that GMG is currently talking with Otmanos for a possible seat for season 3.
Ooh, very nice.
That was one of
I
my
might sign myself for
the next
season
year. But
3
also,
at
we
an
can say the first 5 races, first 3 races, something like that, is gonna show the wheel, paces the wheel, deserve it, choices and options for every single drivers there, where every single driver want to show his wheel performance and if he deserves to be
Yeah.
on the top or not. Also, we keep the speak for you, Shoko.
Yeah, well, GMG has also a driver in the junior academy. For example, we have your boy Nick in the academy. He might stay another year for LGP, and he might go to GMG. It all depends how this season works. The only thing is, really feel sad for Lamborghini Racing because they have a good car. They always have had a car which you can use for winning championship. Of course, we saw that last season they were dominating. Not dominating, but where uh, their main driver was fighting with Super, and the man had a pole even in season 0. No, just Sorry, my excuses. Like last year, we in season 1, Lambo had a good car. In season 0.5, they had a good car as well. They took 3 out of 3 poles. It's just a bit sad that their drivers went away, because the fastest driver retired, and since then they have struggling with active drivers, and that's why they only scored 15 points last season. They had one race where they instantly got a podium, and since then they barely got any. But yeah. Any other stuff you guys want to discuss?
So yeah, the driver market for next season is looking interesting. I wonder how many new rookies we'll have next year.
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course, we have got a few people in Formula 2 and 3 lining up, like GM.
I think we should also add more teams.
No, we're gonna just keep it at 15. Otherwise, we're gonna have a too big of grid. We're just gonna keep it at 15. We're not gonna expand more to 17 or 18. That's gonna be a bit too much. Sorry, but it's 60.
30, yeah, 30 drivers.
That's
Actually,
fair.
that's fine. That's fair. Do we have 15?
Yeah, we have
teams
15
right
teams right now. Like, and
now? I think
yeah,
we should keep 15.
that's
good.
it's more than usually. Obviously, there in real life only 13 are allowed, so I think 15 is a good number. Anyway, other stuff you guys want to discuss? Because otherwise we can end it. No, okay. Well,
All good for me. It was a very interesting talk. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. well I
Also, should we have bets on who do we think should win the driver championship?
oh, that's gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna
Yeah, lot of
place my
options
bet
in
at
total.
the Dutchman. I might be a bit biased because he's my driver, but still, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for this one too. He's been tough fighting with Super, but I think this season he can get his chance. He has everything. He has all the opportunities. He has a good car, good pace, lots of drivers, lots of mechanics and engineers with him. So he has nothing to lose. I'm betting for him.
I think Aqua has got a strong chance, and I think I'm gonna go for him.
Okay, that's very interesting. It is okay. Yeah, that is also possible.
I think I'm gonna go for Aqua for the
Okay.
world champ. I think he's a good clean racer, which means that he's not necessarily the fastest, but when you come to all the penalties and stuff, he's often one that's the
Also, what do you
sitters,
think
so
for
yeah.
what do you think for the top five drivers on the
Well, I'm gonna
championship?
go with that the Dutchman will be P1, and I think Super might not be that active this season, so I think Otmanos will be P2, Cube will be P3, that Super P4, and then I'm gonna go with Aqua P5. You guys?
Okay, so I think we've spectated everything so far. It was a good conversation we've had, a good introduction to the new fans and community base coming to FO for the first time.
Yeah.
I think I hope you've enjoyed the conversation. I'm sure that more is
Yeah.
coming. Also, don't forget to stay tuned with the YouTube channel. Expecting a video coming with me, a guide at Indianapolis, and a lab analysis with me. So yeah, stay tuned to see what's upcoming.
And if you guys
Yeah.
have any questions, leave them in the comments. And yeah, have a great day. Bye.
Yeah, guys, well done.
Bye, bye guys.
I hope to see all you guys who watch this.